Hi guys, this is Ms. Henson. Today we will be continuing our work with participial phrases. You need to make sure you have your paragraphs for high school packet and turn to page 74. Now, before we begin, we're going to refresh our understanding of what a participial phrase is and how it functions in a sentence. Start by answering the 4 questions in the checkpoint 1 box of your handout. Once you have finished, advance this recording. Okay, now it's time to check your answers. Pause the recording and check your work by viewing the video using the search terms below. The 2-minute teacher is super important. Make sure you have all of your answers correct. Okay. Now, check your work against the key at my table and have me sign your form indicating that you answered the questions correctly. Now it's time to begin Activity 4. Label a clean piece of paper, participial phrases, Activity 4. Now remember, write in ink, double space, use your MLA heading. Now it's time to begin. This activity is usually the most challenging because it requires you to imitate an entire sentence, not just a phrase. To be successful, we must take the following steps. Number 1, separate the model into chunks of meaning. That's when we put dashes between phrases and clauses. Then, identify the main subject and verb. Just write an S above the main subject and a V above the main verb. Let's start by chunking the example. And again, we're on page 74. Here's our model sentence. Now, in your textbook, I want you to draw those dashes between the chunks of meaning. Okay. Now, hopefully you drew they stood, dash, motionless and silent, dash, slash, listening. Now notice in red, we have our subject, they, and in blue we have our verb, stood. Now I want you to do the exact same thing with the scrambled imitation. Unscramble it, identify the subject and the verb. It should look just like the model. Go ahead and do that in your text. Okay, now we see the unscrambled parts. Here we go. Notice that they match up completely. They stood matches up with they remained. Motionless and silent matches up with quiet but anxious. Listening matches up with hoping. We want to look for things like number of words. Look for verb endings or word endings. Make sure you match the marks of punctuation. Make sure you look at the endings of your words. Step 3 is to write your own sentence. Now, we're still looking there on page 75, and we have the student imitation. Now, when you do write your own imitation, you have to follow the pattern of the model exactly. It's best to start with the subject and the verb and then work from there. Now, write your rough draft in your text, on your final draft on your own paper. Don't forget, write in ink and double space. Your turn. Turn to pages 75 and 76. You will see that there are 5 sentences. You have to follow all 3 steps for all 5 sentences. Don't forget, step number 1, chunk the model that's in your text. Unscramble the sentence parts in the text. You don't have to write out the parts. Create your own sentence and write it on your own paper. You'll be turning in this paper for a grade. Here's the key to sentence 1. So try it yourself in your text and check it against the key. At this point, you should be writing your own sentence. Once you have, advance this presentation. Now, remember, once you have finished your imitation sentence, you must have it checked and signed by me. That will be your checkpoint 2. Okay, congratulations. You made it this far. You're doing pretty well. You need to finish the other 4 sentences. The keys are on the next few slides, but be sure and do it yourself first. Check the key, just to double check your work, and then write those imitation sentences. Have a great day.